The copper golem was meant to be a helper, but have you ever wondered what would happen if it one day went rogue? Today, I'm going to be building the new copper golem mob, but this one isn't so friendly. But first, our copper golem needs a habitat to live in. Since one of the essential items to create a copper golem is a pumpkin, I decided to make a pumpkin patch. It's also spooky season, so it works perfectly. I laid down a couple base plates for the 24x24 stud module, which translates to 12x12 Minecraft blocks. The goal was to have the pumpkin farm in the center, and a couple other features such as a graveyard and a pathway. I built up the outside of the module with brown bricks to represent dirt, and then I filled in the inside so I could put tiles and plates on top. First, I put down a layer of light green tiles for the grass. Just watch this beautiful tiling. I also sprinkled in some sand green tiles for some colder grass. Next, I laid down the foundation for the wall that would surround the pumpkin farm, using some dark gray and brown plates. Then I continued tiling off the inside of the farm. I use these tan tiles for the path surrounding the farm. Now for the wall itself, I decided to do a mixture of a cobblestone and a stone design. I used dark gray bricks, plates, and light gray 1x1 tiles to get the look that I wanted. I also used this stair design with the snot bricks to get the perfect shape. You can see it fits the same dimensions as the rest of the cubes. I know these wall designs seem kind of random right now, but I promise you it makes sense in the end. When I finished building all the wall pieces, I put them in place around the farm. Next, I filled in the empty space with grass and flowers. I stacked multiple grass stems for tall grass. Then I added in a couple gravestones and this little skull next to them. I added a composter to the corner of the farm, and then I was able to fill up the area with pumpkins and stems. I also made this custom scarecrow to watch out over the farm. Now for the final touch, I put in some candles and torches around the area to light it up and to keep hostile mobs from walking all over the pumpkins. And I wonder what that's going to be used for. The module still felt a little empty, so I added in this tree design that I used in a previous video. Next, I added in a couple mobs like a frog, as well as a couple zombie villagers, and a black cat hiding behind the farm. With all the mobs in their proper place, the module was complete, and I could focus on building the copper golem next. First, I laid out a couple bricks for the torso of the golem. I wanted it to have a somewhat oxidized look, so I went with an orange and sand green color scheme. I added in a couple Technic and clip connectors to attach his arms and legs, and I added the rest of the plates and tiles to cover it all up. Now I can move on to building the head, which I used a very interesting design for. I made custom eyes using brown 1x1s and stickers. The head is separated into 3 different segments, which I connected using a snot technique, and I don't know if it's technically legal, but it got the job done. I put some 1x3 tiles on the side of the head, and then I moved on to building the third segment, which is the lower jaw. I used a couple studs for teeth and some clips to connect it to the top, and I used a pumpkin for the antenna coming out of his head. When that was done, I attached it to the torso, and then I made his arms and legs. The Mixel joint connector method has never failed me. It's great for making posable arms. For the legs, just a couple of clips will do. I attached everything to the body, and then the copper golem was ready for the module. I put him in next to the farm, as well as a player with a crossbow to fend him off. And now, cue the cinematic shots. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to support the channel, or you can become a channel member. Also, hit the bell to stay tuned for more content coming soon.